last week you called me. The way you're talking is driving me insane. Hello, hello. Even if we're hanging by a thread, what you said is spinning in my head, I just wanna pull you closer in this bed, Take me back into your arms, and I'll never let you down. Just last week you called me. The way you're talking is driving me insane. Hello. Just last week you called me. The way you're talking is driving me insane. Hello. Hello. Even if we're hanging by a thread, what you said is spinning in my head, I just wanna pull you closer in this bed, Take me back into your arms, and I'll never let you down. Even if we're hanging by a thread, what you said is spinning in my head, I just wanna pull you closer in this bed, Take me back into your arms, and I'll never let you down. Even if we're hanging by a thread, what you said is spinning in my head, I pull you closer in this. Even if we're hanging by a thread, what you said is spinning in my head, I pull you closer in this.
Hello. Yes, we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to another live stream. I'm your host, Nelson, aka The Pixel Geek. Thank you for joining me on a Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you're new here in the live chat or just watching, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and taking 2 hours out of your weekend to geek out about no-code tools. Yeah, still a weird concept to me that people would spend time watching a pixel geek, geek out about no code tools. But anyways, besides that, I hope that these streams are very, very valuable to you and that you're, learning something or just seeing something new and you're like, oh my god, okay, let me try that. Hope that these are empowering. If you are regular here, thank you again. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do so. We're at what, 8,000, over 8,500? That's amazing. And I started this YouTube channel 7 years ago, and so it's wow. It's just wow to me right now. So let's see who's in the chat room right now. And where are you from? Yeah, so we got HG Web Design. He's back. Hello, am I the first? Yes, you are. You're the first one in the chat room. Pablo is back. Ripple Effect. Furzal. Bucks Bros Gaming. I haven't seen that name, so welcome to the stream. Norm is new. V is new. Eli is back. Sarah No Socks, one of the awesome let me make you a moderator. One of the awesome volunteers from our community who's helping me build the Pixel Geek community, and yeah, lots of things to talk about with that. We'll get to that soon. Jonas is here. Stephen Gunn is back. Colleen, my wonderful moderator, and Norm is from Vancouver, Canada, Malaysia. Nice. So, welcome everyone. This is awesome. And already 30 people are watching. Nice. Let's go. Yeah, where do we start? Where do we start? So, at the it was, Tuesday through Thursday. I think there was one on Friday as well, but I need to catch up on things. Webflow did a virtual world tour, and this has been a replacement because of COVID-19. We can't have another no code conference, which was super awesome to be at. Um, but we wanted to do another one, but COVID happened, and so the Webflow team did a virtual one and a world tour, and making sure that um there was these live streams that happen in certain time zones so everyone could join in, and speakers from each time zone, and it was really really interesting, and I got to be one of the breakout session speakers. Well, basically what we'll be doing in the topic is the same exact thing I did for Webflow world tour, but I want to get Colleen in here. She's one of the moderators here that you see in the live chat, but also one of the volunteers who's helping build the Pixel Geek community. And so she actually went to the world tour virtually. And let me get her in here. See if this works. Colleen, hello? No, your mic doesn't work. Oh, you're muted. There we
You're
go.
right. I forgot. Hello. I'd
Yay!
forgotten I unmuted.
Welcome.
Great to be here.
Yay. So Webflow World Tour. Yeah, that happened, and it's gonna happen again for the Asia Pacific time zone next week. I think starting Monday or Tuesday. But
I-
you went to one or two of them. What was your thoughts on the event?
So I actually popped into to three of them
Oh,
this week for uh, different amounts for each day, and it was a lot of fun. So if you haven't yet gone, please sign up and go. Either this coming week or the following week. It's actually a 3 week long event. And it was really great, A, to hear announcements, but B, I mean, I think we're so used to doing things asynchronously that being able to connect and talk with people in real time was just a lot of fun.
yeah. Yeah, there's so much async happening right now, um, and I finally got to meet well, not in person, face to face, Marine from Texas who actually lives in Florida. But yeah, I finally got to see his face and meet him, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And it kind of felt like no code conference, just meeting the people behind the avatars for the first time. It's like, oh, yay. So what was one of the things that really stood out to you from the talks? Like, what is one of the best things that you've learned from the past 3 days?
So one of the talks that I went to, and actually since you just mentioned the Marine from Texas, I think
Mm.
he went to this breakout session as well. So could we maybe stop, and for anyone who doesn't know the format, maybe we should say a few words about what the format of the World
Oh
Tour
yeah,
is.
go for it.
So the events have basically been starting with a keynote presentation that has been talking about what Webflow has been doing feature-wise and what's coming up. And then following that, there have been smaller talks. And intermixed with that, there have been breakout sessions where there's virtual rooms where you can go in and speak with folks one on one and get to know one another. So there's
Hmm.
kind of a little bit of something for everyone. So, like big main talks, little itty smaller, more intimate talks, and then kind of that conferencing feel type thing that you have. And so one of the breakout sessions that was kind of more that intimate that I enjoyed, that then moved on into a smaller bit, was related to accessibility.
Mm.
And so there were several people from Webflow that were on that, and then that was kind of one of the chances where I also got to meet Maureen from Texas.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah. Um, I guess we can go straight into what the keynote that Gabby and Barrett from the marketing team or the growth team from Webflow talked about the new upcoming features. Yeah. So
Yes.
let me go into my screen real quick and share one of the slides that they have. And that cool. So this one right here, accessibility improvements. Like that one, never saw before. And when they showed it, I was like, oh, that totally makes sense. Like an auditor or some sort of assistant to catch you saying, hey, you're missing an alt text on a certain image, or you should change the contrast for these colors, or so people can better read or see your UI. Um, yeah. So what were your thoughts when you first saw this?
Well, I guess just kind of kudos to the Webflow team. I mean, it just seemed like there was announcement after announcement after announcement where like my jaw was just sort of hitting the ground on each one. And it's one of the things where I have felt a little bit of trouble kind of going into Webflow is, I mean, this is, you've used the phrase, and I think this was actually used in the accessibility talk, with great power comes great responsibility. And when going into the canvas, it's a blank slate, so you can do anything. But with that, it is so easy to create sites and create functionality that isn't compatible well for either screen readers or other assistive technologies. And it's very easy to lose sight of. The CDC has a statistic that basically 1 in 4 Americans has some kind of disability.
Yeah.
Some are very obvious, others aren't. So, when you're going in and doing that animation, is someone with Parkinson's trying to use your site and having trouble, clicking on a particular thing. So being able to have these features in here to help, guide and not make some of the obvious mistakes, I think is going to help with, kind of as your tagline has been, making the web beautiful together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I love going into the canvas of Webflow and just going at it and ignoring accessibility. But something to help make us think about it right in front of our face and show us, well, let me show the screen again, and show us a clipboard with a red X. It's like, oh, okay, yes, I'm forgetting some stuff. So it'll help a lot of people, and putting it in the forefront will make a lot more people happier. So yeah, kudos to the team for doing that. And I think the team is looking for a name for the assistant. Maybe we can suggest a different name rather than just assistant. you know um if you're in the chat room right now, go ahead and put, what would you rename this accessibility assistant? um I think from the Dream Big week, the hack week that the Webflow team had, there was someone playing around with the name Flow, but I was like, hmm, that's too close to the mascot of the Progressive Insurance commercials. So I put a Giphy of her in the chat. But yeah, what would you call it? Yeah, put that in the chat room right now. Another thing they showed off, and I think this is huge, is nested symbols.
Drum roll.
Yeah, nested symbols. So the thing, the thing about symbols is that, and what I've just learned, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago when working on a client project, was that, oh, you can make like dynamic fields inside of symbols and change them without having to change the whole symbol. So it has its own instance. That's cool. And now the team is taking the next step to let you put symbols inside of symbols, which is like, which is pretty cool to me. And it's like something that, the community has been asking for. And after that, they talked about element overrides, and I forgot what, you remember what that was all about?
I I think that was kind of related to how we're doing stuff with symbols,
Okay.
where you're able to override an element. So, oh gosh, now I can't even think of the example. But
Oh,
yeah, it's all
yeah.
kind of together. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot.
Yeah, because I'm
Get
just
that as
looking at the
well.
slide and I'm like, wait, add and remove individual elements from symbol instances. So, oh, okay. Now that I'm reading it, and I'm looking at looking at the screen.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so if you have like one, if you have, imagine these three cards: volunteer, events, and about us. They're all one symbol, but they're their own instances that you can change, which we know from previous stream that you can just change it per instance. But what if one doesn't have a button, or doesn't need a button, or doesn't need a headline or something? You can actually display hide. I'm guessing it's a display hide or something like that. Or, I mean, not display hide, display none or something like that. And
Yeah,
then,
being able to change and not have to create a whole new instance, that'll be nice and helpful.
yeah. So a lot of great things. And then I think the last thing, and I think that one's going to be the, the cherry on top, what people have been asking for a long time, is style overrides with variants and team component libraries. So, uh, for instance, if you have a symbol of like this button right here where it says sign up, and then you drag that into your nav bar, and then it says like get tickets or whatever, you can change the label, yes. But changing the color, that's something you can't do right now in Webflow. But soon you'll be able to change the color and make different variants. And I'm seeing tweets like this already. Just this morning, someone asked, "Is there like a Tailwind CSS version for like Webflow?" And it's like having a component library where, like, what if I have all these buttons, right, and all these styles, and I can drag and choose which one I want. And then if, and I'm just guessing now. I'm just guessing. If someone changes something in the team component library, that master symbol, those styles would get pushed down to all the other ones. That's what I'm thinking. If that actually happens, whoa! Now we have a real style guide. We have a real component library. People have been asking for style guides or component libraries for a long time. I think this is going to be the thing. I don't like. I don't know. What are your thoughts on all of the Webflow future
Well,
features?
one of the things with kind of having kind of all these, pieces being able to interact with one another, to me, it's more like being able to have even more powerful Lego blocks than we had previously. And I don't know if you attended this talk, but there was a talk where I guess in addition to sort of the technical talks that happened during the world tour, if you haven't gone yet, there's also sort of inspirational and use case talks that have been taking place. And in one of them, it was being discussed how this team in a very short period of time was able to create a site, and then they created a bunch of splinter sites based on that major kind of template. And I remember seeing in the chat, some people were kind of just asking, oh my gosh, how did they handle the style guide and that kind of thing? And so seeing these features coming out, that just seems to be very great, just to make it so much more powerful that if you are a company here and you have subsidiaries or sub brands underneath, that you'll have better control over making sure that everything stays in sync.
Yeah.
Especially think about if you've got a company that ends up at some point undergoing a rebrand, just
Whew.
basically being able to quickly push out
Yeah.
all those changes and having them made everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, simple example would be at the Webflow branding team, branding, marketing, and education team. How they're the public face, the first public domains of Webflow when you're coming into the marketing page of webflow.com, and then all those child pages. But also university.webflow.com needs those same type of look, and like, what if one day we change our font to, I don't
Don't
know,
say Comic Sans.
I was gonna say San Francisco, but okay. What if we went with San Francisco or something, or Comic Papyrus? That's an actual thing. Or is it, yeah, it's Comic Papyrus or Papyrus Comic, whatever. That's a real font. But what if we changed it? Then we have to go through everything. But hopefully this thing will solve that issue. Yeah. Yeah. Um other things that they talked about, yeah, so they didn't have any screenshots for this, but logic flows and user systems. Yeah, it's known that the team has been working on this and researching and whatnot. But you either you the team always wants to do it right, and making something I always say making something simple is hard. Making something hard to use is simple. So the team has always been taking the hardest route to make it simple for everyone to use. But for now, for logic flows, a lot of people have been using Zapier, Integromat, and Parabola. And there's other tools out there that do the same thing. And for user systems, MemberStack, MemberSpace have been the go-tos. And so, yeah, what are your thoughts on those two announcements?
I was so excited to hear. I'd been hearing rumblings of, some of that functionality, but I still felt like it was way, way, way out into the future. And
Hmm.
while there are, some great no code tools in the space, it's another tool to have to learn. And so being able to have more of that integrated within Webflow, I think is just going to make Webflow more powerful and make it easier for everyone to create even more powerful platforms. So I was very, very excited to do that. There's something I'd kind of been personally playing with that I hadn't quite been ready to do in Webflow, in part because some of that just wasn't there. And so being able to hear that was just made me extremely excited. So, and I'm sure a lot of probably people in the chat and elsewhere are also excited as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, I've been working on the Pixel Geek community website for, I don't know, was it two? Is it 2 weeks now? 3 weeks? I don't know.
Longer than two.
Yeah, I've
So
just day and night. I'm just like, oh, I have this idea. Okay, I gotta do it. I gotta put a Trello card, and I gotta make myself accountable, and just do it. And yeah, I'm taking all these Lego bricks of like Zapier, MemberStack, Circle.so, Webflow, and just mashing them all together. And then if one doesn't work, I will have to find another piece on like a weird piece. So I take like Airtable or Google Sheet so I can connect it somehow. And I posted a screenshot on Twitter a while ago of how many zaps I have. One of the zaps, like the registration for the community site, when you register, it goes through 15 steps. So having that all built into Webflow, and maybe it'll be a max 4 or 5 steps, oh, would be so powerful. And I know a lot of people coming from the customer support team. I know there's people who are like, why do I have to mash all these tools together? It kind of seems overwhelming. And I see that. It's overwhelming if you want to start a web app, um, and you can't just use Webflow. So, whew, one day, soon. That's what we always think. Coming soon. Coming soon. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Yeah. Anything else did you want to say about the world tour, or anything about the Pixely community before I let you go?
so if you haven't gone to the world tour, try and join in. Some of the sessions will be Webflow has said will be available in the future, but some sessions are not being recorded. And I think some of those smaller things are kind of where people are able to connect and interact. So try and find one that fits your time zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. I posted the link in the chat room, webflow.com/world tour. Register, and then you'll get a link, and it's all free. So free knowledge. Get that. Thank you so much, Colleen, and thank you so much for the coffee. Thank you
Yeah.
every week.
Good.
Oh, yeah. So I'll see you in the chat room.
Okay. Good. Bye, everyone.
Bye. And there, cool. And the call. Thank you so much, Colleen. You're super awesome. Um, yeah, a lot of news, and we're not done yet with news. We're gonna keep going. What else happened? Lazy loading. Lazy loading. show you my screen. So whenever you drag in a inline image and go to the element settings panel, dun, 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 dun. So if you don't know what lazy loading is, it's just a way for your images to be lazy. That's it. All right. So actually, when the page loads, for example, do I have another image? We have to, okay. Yeah, cool. I have these other images too. So let me place this image right here. No. Let me place this image there. Okay, cool. So this image will have lazy load. Okay. And notice how this happened when I dragged the image in, lazy load was set by default. So that's awesome. So what happens is when the page first loads, the browser is going to download all the images. It's going to download every single image, and it's going to take some time for your user to actually see the first row because your browser is like, okay, let me download all the images, all the JavaScript, all the CSS, all the HTML, videos, like give it to me all before I show the first row on a web page. The cool thing about lazy loading is when someone's scrolling, that image that I placed at the very bottom right here, this image won't load until your user gets to it. So when the user gets to right here or something, that's when the browser will request from the servers, "Hey, give me that image." Then it will. So that way the first section, your first row on your homepage, your hero row, or any page, will load faster. So yeah, lazy load. So you have lazy load, or it loads with the page, or it's just default to the browser. So try that out. Pretty cool. What else is happening? Um, cool. So every week we're starting something new. Wait, I have a question from HG. Do I have to remove my own lazy load settings and add the past loading? So any images that you have in your projects now are set to default. Default meaning they just download whatever the browser is telling the web page to do. So you would have to go into your projects now and set them all to lazy load to gain that optimization. So go ahead and do that. Next, so each week we're doing a weekly challenge just for fun. So I'm teaching something in each of these streams, and it's up to you if you want to bring your project that you're taking the knowledge from the last stream and what you've done in the past week and show it to the community. Just a way for you to, keep yourself practicing, keep yourself accountable, and you know, to be good at something, practice. And you have to get feedback, and then you have to build upon that feedback. So if you have your project today to show off for the weekly challenge, which was nav bar and drop downs and using interactions for, put them in the chat room right now, and I'll review them. While I wait for those links, I'm gonna go to a tweet that I got, or a DM that I got last week. Right? From Taylor. He says, "Good morning, Nelson. I'm finishing my first major Webflow project today, and it's going so great. I'm an artist whose world was recently opened to the joy of engineering thanks to Webflow and the amazing community. I wanted to tell you that you're a great leader because you set a positive and competent example for people. You make something that's boring on paper seem really cool and fun. That helps me enjoy my job, and that's like gold. You're positive and humble when when you are troubleshooting on stream, and as a result, I feel like with a patient and positive attitude, I can fix any problem I run into despite self learning. I nearly cried after reading that for the first time because honestly, I just want to geek out and help people. And when I got that, I was like, "Oh my god. Oh, thank you." And to me, when you have a teacher who is very passionate about the knowledge that they're giving away freely, you tend to remember that teacher for a long time. Can you remember a teacher that helped you learn something and treated you with respect and honesty and empathy? Uh, the one teacher that I know everyone knows, well, most people, is Mr. Rogers. And how much empathy does that man have? And he's very passionate about, you know, being just learning something new and being honest and loving. And you know what? That's what I want to pass on to everyone else. Like, if you learn anything from my streams, please pass that forward. Because as I've always been saying since my first YouTube video, if you look it up, I've always been saying make the web beautiful, and this is what I mean. And because he sent me that DM, he asked, "Can you review my site? I'd be honored." And I said, "Of course, but I'm going to do it on the stream." So, if you're here, Taylor, here we go. I'm reviewing your site. I'm looking at it for the first time. Taylor Noteworthy. All right. My first thought is, okay, the first 3 seconds. Where am I? What is it about? And where do I get more information? Where am I? Taylor Noteworthy. All right. So this means if it's a name, that means it's a personal site. What is it about? I solve creative problems. And lastly, where do I get more information? I see a nav bar on the left because my eyes look in an F formation. Cool. It works. And he has personality on his site because it's not just a white page, it's a different color, it's a nice color, and it has an illustration of him. I've always suggested put yourself front and center on your hero row whenever you have a portfolio page because you want to show who you are immediately, and you want to show your personality because this is not just a business card, this is your handshake, your virtual handshake. And because it's an illustration, it doesn't have to be a photo, it doesn't have to be a video, even illustration works. This works. So far I like it. The circle and the square, interesting. I'm in. So let's scroll down. Okay, so he keeps that aesthetic with the line art with the buttons. I like this. The button hovers, uh keep the same colors. Nice. Okay. And the contrast of the colors, speaking of accessibility, it works because I can clearly see even for people who have a color deficiency, see it. Here. Art speak louder than words. I'm proficient in good old fashioned sketchbook. I like this. I like this. Moving on. So I'm wondering, since everything is very static, what if you can add some interactions, like scroll to interaction? Imagine if these three screens, actually, so if this laptop was one layer, this was another layer, and this was another layer, what if you scroll down and then they kind of like 3D come out as an animation? One, two, three. I think that'd be cool. Or take it even further. The laptop opens and then one, two. That would be pretty cool. See if you can do that with interactions. All right, moving on. Portfolio, nice. Um, Careful. So this is the thing. Just all these are nitpicky. Um, this is 2 lines and this is 1 line. So one thing you can do is probably set this to, I don't know if you're using grid or flexbox or something, but this box should be as tall as these. And there's a way to do that, but yeah, just small thing, right? Nice. Okay, so if you have hovers on these buttons, you should have hovers on these as well. And maybe make these black because these buttons are black, the black text. So make the icons black, and then on hover, you have that same effect. So just keep things consistent. Cool. Cool. Awesome. All right. And it's a one pager? Yeah, it's a one pager. Very well done. Now I'm interested in your responsiveness. Oh, okay. Some things are crashing. It's okay. You can fix it. Nice. Okay, so there should be a little bit more padding. This right here seems really close to the edge of this box. So if you added more padding, let's see here, padding left and right, you have it as 7 and 5, 7 and 5 pixels. So I would say like 20. Let it breathe. Actually, padding on all sides 20. Yeah, see, just let that text breathe a bit. Need some space. So 20 on all sides. But cool. Let's see your menu. Okay. I like it. Nice. Well done, Taylor. I did see a tweet, or not a tweet, Charlie saying, dude, I sent you a DM too. I haven't heard from you. There's so many people that I want to help, Charlie. Um, and it's hard to find time. If you send me a DM, if you send me a tweet, I'll do my best to respond. But I'm so for the Pixel Geek community, what I'm trying to do is build a project help board so everyone can help each other and be incentivized to do that using buymeacoffee.com. And that way, if I don't have time to answer a question, the community will help. All right. Answering DMs is not scalable, so I wish I could. And that's what I do all day at work anyways. So I'm sorry, Charlie, but maybe at the end of the stream I'll get to it because Colleen will make a note of it. So thank you so much. And Taylor's saying the what I do section is interactive, but I need to make it more obvious. What I do section? This one? Hold on, let me turn off. Huh? Oh, yeah, I did not know. Look at that. I did not know. Okay, yeah. How would you make this obvious? Huh. Huh. Ooh. I was gonna say, do you wrap it kind of like make a button look like these, but big? But huh. I'll have to think about that. Huh. All right. I think we're done with announcements or stuff like that. Oh, one more and then we'll get into 3D. I promise. So many things to talk about. Okay. So last one. September 18th, Friday at 10:30 a.m. I'm going to be talking about why no code is important for all ages. So if you want to save your spot, you can register here. I'll put the link in chat. But yeah, I'll be all super passionate and whatnot and getting on my soapbox of no code is important. So yeah, do we have any links for the nav bar? have no one did the nav bar challenge. It's okay. You can challenge yourself to do 3D. My pleasure, Taylor. Thank you so much. Oh, Eli did. Eli did the challenge. Get it? So today's topic will be basics of 3D inside of Webflow. But we're looking at this one, nav component. Okay, so here we go. Eli, you did this week's challenge. Ooh. Okay, I see something. So first of all, great job. This is nice. Oh, okay, Lottie. Oh man, and you got the right Lottie animations because it fits the whole theme of the man. I wish it was this good. Come on. Oh wait, and you also have scroll. Oh, look at this. Yes. What I'm talking about, everyone. It's so good. Then wait. The nav bar changes color to the ground. And it goes, yes. Look at the background color of the nav bar changes. You Eli. Come on. This is so good. All right. So, yeah, this is really good. So this is a basic drop down. Yeah, I said basic. Basic drop down component in Webflow. But you can stretch it, you can make a mega menu, you can do so much with the drop down component with Webflow. And this is one of the things you can do. So if you didn't see last week's stream, go ahead and watch it to see how something like this can be done. But Eli, the only little thing you have to figure out is you have some sort of jarring effect when it's, see that little thing where it's like pauses and then it collapses down. And I'm guessing hold on, where's the, let me go to the link again. I'm guessing it has to do with, let me go to your open in Webflow. Okay, there. I'm guessing it's because you have padding inside of your drop down, and you even did a drop down background overlay thing. Man, that's so nice. Okay, let me look at this div block right here. Yeah, you have a padding. So you can't have padding with the div block that's like that. Okay, so you can't have padding. And I think that's what's going to fix it. Yeah, so remove the padding and you're good. Cool. And you did a page onload effect with the sun. Come on. This is so good. All right. Take this, Eli. Go to an outdoors store. What was it? Yeah, like some hiking store and say, "Hey, I have your new website. Let's talk." Do that. All right. Cool. So this week's challenge will be doing 3D. So thank you so much, Eli. Let's go on to our main topic, 3D. Right. So I'm going to show you the basics of making something that's 2D like a card and making it and putting it into a 3D space. Right? So doing something like this. If you haven't done anything with 3D inside of Webflow, this is it. So here we go. I'm going to create a another page. And here we go. So I'm going to set the stage. I want to put a card in the very middle of the screen. So to do that, I'm going to my Add Elements panel, dragging in a section, and giving this section a height of 100 VH. VH meaning port height, right? And let's give this section a background. So I'm going to use background image that I've already uploaded. Cover, set to cover, and there we go. So cover means it takes up the whole space, right? And now let's add an overlay on top of it, a dark overlay, because we want to put more focus on the card rather than this background image. So I'm going to press plus again on the backgrounds, and I'm going to choose color overlay, which is right here. And that's it. I can play around with the colors if I want. I can play around with the opacity. It's up to you. But I'm going to do something like that. Okay, we're good. Last thing I want to do is make sure that whatever I put inside of this section, it'll be in the center vertically and horizontally. So I'm going to set this to flex. Then anything inside of it will be vertically center and horizontally center. That's it. Now, let's go ahead and bring our card in. So I'm going to go to my assets panel, drag in Pikachu. Did I do it right? And, oh, look at that. Cool. Lazy load is right here when I drag in the image. Sweet. So it's already lazy loading. Nice. And let's go ahead and close these mini settings. And let's give this a name of Pika P. Cool. Right? So our state, well, actually, I need to round out the corners because this image has these corners right here. I need to round it out. So let's go here and border radius, which is right here, and drag that slider and play around. So yeah, right about there. All right. So now it's a card. Sweet. I choose you. All right. So now that we have Pika P all set up and we have our section set up, we need to turn on 3D. All right. So here we go. Turn on 3D. Take the parent element. So this is the child of section 7. Section 7 is the parent of Pika P. All right. So I'm going to select the parent and then scroll all the way down to the bottom right, and you have 2D and 3D transform. I'm going to click the kebab menu, and I'm going to set the children perspective to 2000. That's it. 3D is enabled. No, we're not done. If you're thinking, no, not done. We've just enabled 3D, so now we got to tell the Webflow interactions to spin this card around in a 3D space. Right? So this is when we start to talk about X, Y, and Z. Okay? So let's add an interaction to this. We're going to go to our interactions panel right here, the lightning bolt. Press plus, and now we got a bunch of element triggers. The one we're going to focus on right now is mouse move over element. This tracks the position of the mouse. Tracks where the mouse is in the X axis and on the Y axis. Did a thing. All right. Anyways, action. I've clicked. I think I went too fast. Press plus, mouse move over element, select an action, and we're going to play mouse animation. Huh. Pikachu is a mouse. And so I'm going to press plus, and now we have these timelines. I'm going to name this the P. You can name it whatever you want. But here we go. Now, if you see, we have two types of actions. We have mouse X and mouse Y. So with mouse X, Webflow is asking what happens when the mouse is all the way to the left versus all the way to the right. So X starts on the very left, 0%, goes to the very right, 100%. Right? So I'm going to target Pika P. So I'm going to click on Pika P, and now I'm going to press plus sign, and I'm going to rotate it. Go. So Webflow gives us already the 0% and 100%. And Webflow is asking, all right, what do you want it to do? How do you want to rotate it? And this is when you get all the way down to the bottom right, and you get these options, X, Y, and Z. Okay? So, kind of weird because you're saying what does the mouse, when the mouse is on the X-axis, moving on the X-axis, you want to rotate it. We need to rotate it on the Y. So let me explain. Okay, so this is, okay, piece of paper. Here we go. So when you're rotating things, the 3D space, if you notice this icon right here says X. So X is, I should marker. Hold on, I'm doing it. Mm, mm. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So if you see here, X is horizontal, Y is vertical. Okay. So if I'm moving something on the X axis, it's gonna imagine two sets of fingers holding a paper, and when you're rotating on the X, you're rotating it on the X. If you hold the paper at the edges of the Y and you rotate it, you're rotating it on the Y, like that. So, you Mr. Paper, we're going to rotate on the Y because when our mouse is moving left and right, we want to rotate it left and right. Okay? So, when the mouse is all the way to the left, let's move it negative 50 degrees on the Y-axis. And on 100%, we do the opposite. We do positive 50 degrees on the Y. And now we do the same thing when the mouse is moving up and down. Rotate, and this time on the X-axis. When we want it to look up, we'll just use simple numbers, 50, and looking down, negative 50. And congratulations, you've created something that's 3D. That makes sense? Any questions with this? So all we're doing is just flipping a paper. That's it. And you can take these same basics for things like as you're scrolling down or scrolling into view, mouse hover, mouse click, any type of interaction, you know? So let's do one more trigger. Let's do one more example of a mouse click, okay? So I'm going to select Pika P. Going to use mouse click as my element trigger. Start animation. I'm going to call it Pika click. Set an action to rotate. And we'll just rotate this like that. Okay? And we can also play around with the Z. The Z is just like spinning it. Okay? And then done. Actually, let's add an ease. Then we can do a second click as a toggle to reset it. So I'm going to press plus, reset, and just set all the rotations back to 0. 0, 0, 0, and done. Click, click. There you go. 3D. Makes sense? Yeah. So fast, simple tutorial on making things 3D. Up to you all if you want to see me make a cube in 3D. Cubes are 3D. If you want to see me make a 3D cube inside of Webflow. I'm waiting for that answer. Question. Okay. Let's see. AKS is asking, how can I export the Webflow code to next.js or next.js? Can I use Webflow code to take it to my yeah, thank you, Pablo, for answering AKS's question. But yeah, you export Webflow code. It's just basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And you can put that into your own environment. You can edit the code. You can do whatever you want. The code is yours. You earned it. You made it. That's all yours. And you can mess around, add anything you want to it. But you can't re-import that back into Webflow. Okay, yeah, 3D cube. That's redundant. It's like saying ATM machine. Question for the Nav challenge. I was not able to figure out why the Nav is not scrolling in mobile. Okay, we'll look into that later, Eli. Ripple effect. How do you activate 3D child elements? Yeah, I'll get back into that. Let's ripple effect. What I did to activate 3D mode. So you would go to the parent element, which I called it. I let Webflow name it section 7. Go down to the effects. Click on the kebab and set children perspective to 2000. Right. Okay. Making a cube. Do it. I'm going to click on my body element. Command E brings up the quick finder tool. Pretty cool. I'm going to type in SEC, which gives us section, press return, and now we have a new section down below. Easier than clicking on add element panel and then dragging it in. So it's just a faster way. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the same thing. We want to make sure that this has a 100 VH height, also has a background on an overlay. We can set that up manually and do all that steps that I've done, or just copy over the same styles as this one. So what we can do is click in here in the selector and type in section 7, press return, and now there we go. I have the same exact styles for both sections because they're using the same class name. So little pro tips, little quick tips to help you out when you're building your sites. So let's go. Let's make a cube. This one is going to take a little bit longer and I may mess up, but that's how we do things here. Okay, so in here, let's go ahead and Command E, type in div. We have a div block. And I'm going to call this 3D cube. 3D cube. Wrapper. Okay, so this is going to hold all the sides of our 3D cube. Okay, this is the actual box that holds the box. And let's give this a width of 350, 350. So width and height, both 350, because you need sides. Done. And let's give it a position of relative. So position relative. I'm telling this box that, hey, you're going to have some child elements that are looking for you. So you're going to be the relative of all of these child divs. And all of these child divs are going to have a position of absolute. What happens, these children who are set to position absolute are looking for its relative. So this box is going to be its relative. That's probably not the exact definition of relative, but that's the way I like to think about it. All right. Now that we've set that up, let's go ahead and Command E, div And let's go ahead and call this the 3D cube side. Okay, so 3D cube side is position absolute, and it's full, and that's it. Okay, so this is the first side. This is the front side. And because this is the front side, I'm going to give it a combo class of front. Go. And let's give this a background color. Blue. Sweet. So this is the front side. Right? So now I'm going to click on my front side. Command C, Command V. And now we have another front side. But I'm going to delete front side. Actually, no, I'm going to duplicate the front side. Call it the left side. Okay? Now, I'm going to change the color of this, something a little bit darker. And then I'm going to rotate this. And so here's the trick. Oh, okay. Cool. So if you're Father's Day gift. So if you open a book, the binding is on this side, right? So when I open it goes like this. It's bound to the side. Right? So that's what I want to do. I want to make a hinge or bind this side. I want to bind this side so that way when I rotate it on the y-axis, it's starting from here. So how to do that is to go down here to the 2D, 3D transforms, open up that kebab menu, and this origin right here. Oh, sorry, no. This origin right here. We're going to bind it on that side, or we add the hinge to that side, and then we press plus again and rotate. So when we rotate on the Y, look. Take a look in a book. Reading rainbow. All right, cool. So I'm going to set this to 90, and there we go. Let's do the same thing. Copy and paste, go a little bit faster, duplicate, call it right side, and all we have to do is click on this kebab and put the hinge or the binding on the other side. And we need to flip this to -90. Make sound effects when you're developing. Always fun. And let's keep going. Copy, paste, call it the top side. And we'll change the binding to be at the top. And we're not going to rotate it on the 90, on the y-axis. We're going to rotate it on the x. And so, ooh, it's a garage door. I'm going to go -90. -90. Boom, right there. Let's get the bottom side. Copy, paste, duplicate, bottom side. Hinge it to the bottom. There we go. And change this to +90. So, I know I can just type in the number, but making sound effects is much more fun. All right, so copy, paste, last side, duplicate class, back side. And so this one, we're putting transform origin in the center, and we're not rotating on the X, but we're rotating on the Z. So this one, oh, wait, we're not rotating at all. Sorry. We are actually moving it on the Z. So we're pushing it back. And I can't see it. Yeah, I did something wrong. Probably. I don't know. It is 350. That. I think I did it. Let's change the color of that. Just make it. Okay, cool. Usually let's a little bit brighter. All right, cool. If I did it right and I start rotating the 3D cube wrapper, then Cool, we have all learned. If I did it wrong, which I suspect I did something wrong, then we'll all learn together on how to fix it. All right, here we go. Oh, and I didn't explain Z. So Z is just near and far. That's all what Z is. So that's what makes things 3D. So 2D is like taking a piece of paper and putting it on flat on a table, and you can only move it up, down, left, right. That's X and Y. That's the 2D space. Like a video game 2D side scroller, it only goes up, down, left, right, like Super Mario. But Super Mario 3D is where you can go up, down, left, right, and near, far. Right? So that's what the Z was all about. All right, let's rotate this. Okay, rotate. Do it. Yeah. Cool. And let's take these same things. Let's take this same thought as we did with the Pikachu and just move this with the mouse. So I'm going to go to section 7, click on element trigger, mouse move over element, and 3D cube. Right, and I'm going to affect the 3D cube wrapper. Nope, not move. Rotate, and we're gonna rotate it. So no, not 90. So if -50. Cool. We'll go -50. This one will be +50, and this one will rotate -50, +50. This one will be -50, and we're done. There it is. There it is. Cool. So I'm gonna clip that and make it its own video later on. But yeah, very short tutorial today. Basics of 3D. Take these basics of X, Y, and Z and play around with interactions. So this week, you want to challenge yourself, do this, or build upon it. Make a card that flips and spins like you're throwing a card or something, like a magician, or I don't know, you click and it lets someone roll the dice. Like, ooh, what if you added circles to each side of this cube, and on click, it's like rolling a dice or rolling a die. Or if you go even crazier, put 2 dice and you got a dice, a paired dice, Dido. Yeah. So that would be cool. How does it cube look in mobile? So there is no hover effects inside of mobile, obviously. But you can tap, and Webflow will translate that to X and Y position of the mouse. So it will rotate the cube, but only up to that one point where your mouse is. So you have to tap everywhere to make that animation happen. But the cube will look good in mobile because all it is just a bunch of divs. So, question, Pablo. Let me look for any other questions. Here. So Charlie, hey Nelson, was wondering if you know how to add multiple different WhatsApp accounts to Webflow using the CMS, and basically create a CMS called brands. Each brand would have their own number, and they need to change it, and they need to change dynamically. Hmm. 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 Um. Hmm. Hold on. So this is where the Webflow logic flows. Whenever it comes out, it would be so easy to answer this question. but right in Webflow user accounts, all of it built in. However, if you needed to build that today, you would need to use Webflow, MemberStack, and Zapier. So Webflow to build the site, the front end design, and the collections. MemberStack so people can register for the account, register on your site to make an account. But also you can add a custom field when they're signing up, and you can name that custom field WhatsApp. They can put in their number, and then you need Zapier to send that information from MemberStack over to the Webflow collection with that member's MemberStack ID and also CMS ID. So it's complicated. There is a way to do it, but it's complicated, and it's not something I can show right away during this stream because there's just so many things you need to set up. But it is possible. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry, that's not the answer you're probably looking for, but that's where we are in the state of no code right now. Right? There's a lot of Lego bricks that you got to figure out how to put together and glue it together. Well, you never want to use Craggle on Lego, but how to piece them all together and make that data go from one place to another. And if the user goes in and updates it, you need to have a zap for that sends it to MemberStack, but also sends it to the Webflow collection. Yeah. But great question. I will be, once I'm done building and launching the Pixel Geek community website. By the way, if you want to join pixelgeek.community, sign up for the email list, and yeah, coming out soon. If you want to join, but after it's launched, I'm going to start making videos on how I made it, and man, is it crazy. There's so many things I had to do and learn and pull from my 15 or 18 plus year knowledge of doing things, and I'm like, I don't know. This is crazy. Here uh here this yeah. Ah, it's crazy. So it's happening. I'm working on it, and I will make many tutorials on how I got this done. But yeah, Elchin, waiting for your challenge project. Yeah, if you can send that in. Eli back on his nav challenge. I wasn't able to figure out why the nav is not scrolling in mobile view. Okay, I have to go back to it. Why isn't it opening? Nav not scrolling in mobile. Let's go here. Okay. Not scrolling. Your nav is scrolling. Do I have to look on a real mobile device? What is this? Nav.challenge? Dash challenge. Nav dash challenge. Webflow dot. Checking on my phone. It does scroll. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, okay. I get it. So if your menu is like this, right? You know, this. Yeah. And I can't scroll. Okay, cool. Yep, I'll answer this. Let's go ahead and open your menu. Ooh. Happen. But why? You did add this. That's what I was gonna suggest. you did add the overflow scroll. Um, actually, it should be auto. Auto is so if so you don't get the horizontal scroll bar. You want to use auto. But why is this doing the things? What? Um, hmm. I'm confused right now. I'm confused about two things. One, why is the nav bar showing up like this inside of Webflow? And two, why doesn't it have the green selector of open? Because obviously it's open. I don't. Huh. I'm so confused right now. Is it because it's position relative instead of absolute? Oh, there it is. It's supposed to be absolute. Okay. I'm guessing it's supposed to have a background color. Okay, I'm just guessing all these things. All right, so this nav menu, I would make this nav menu 100%. Okay, nope, 100 VH. And all the elements within it. Ooh, auto. There we go. And then when this opens, when this is shorter, there we go. So now we can scroll it. Yeah. So I would do that. And I think you have another icon down there. So yeah, you have contact there. So that would mean I don't understand. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Okay, that works. Yeah. When I open this, it goes too far. And so I need to add some padding. Just go crazy with it for bottom padding. There we go. So adding bottom padding would help me see this. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Afra, any information on the Pixel Geek community? Yeah, a lot of zaps happening. I have a lot of things a few things to still work on. And I'm getting there. When will we launch? Soon. But yeah, if you join the email list, I'll be sending more information about things that will be inside of the community. For example, a huge resource section of all tutorials, of all these tutorials and we have tutorials obviously in English, but there's some that are in Spanish, in Hebrew, and French. And please, if you have a tutorial that you want to submit it. What's the link? I have to find the link. What did I call it? Pixel Geek Community video submit. Yeah. Let me put that in the chat. So yeah, if you've done something, if you made a tutorial, especially in a different language, submit it. And also, if you have a buy me a coffee page, or you don't right now, set up one and then put that link into that submission form as well, because you should be rewarded for the time you took to spread your knowledge for free. So yeah, do that. So we'll have a tutorial section, we'll have a showcase section. Obviously, we'll have a chat board. But one of the things that I want on the chat board to happen is, and this is going to be a strict rule on the chat board, if you're asking for help from the community, you must record a video using Loom or Cloud App or something. You must record a video of your screen. You don't have to do a webcam, but you need your screen and you need to do a voiceover at you asking or telling the people, telling the community what the issue is and what you need help with. Because answering customer support tickets and I'm trying to imagine what the problem is, it's hard. And then when someone replies with a Loom video, I'm like, okay, cool. But then they're just using their mouse to dictate what they need help with. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Even though you're circling an element with your mouse cursor, I still don't get it. Sometimes I do. And I'm like, oh, okay. But we need voiceovers. So that's going to be a requirement. If your post for help doesn't have those two things, then it gets immediately deleted. If you're answering a question, then you have to do the same thing. Record on Loom and voiceover explaining the answer. And yeah, because this is a visual development tool, so it answers and questions need to be told visually. And lastly, if you answer a question, you're encouraged to post a link to your Buy Me a Coffee page or a Patreon page so we can say thank you. Thank you for helping us out. So that's coming soon. And I'm already working on a Pixel Geek Awards program. Uh yeah, so that's coming soon. I'll have more details in a future email, but we already got some cool things cooking for that. So, so many things I'm working on, and that's why I can't answer all the questions. But yes, yes, I want to help you all grow together. All right. BCA. How to fix its smoothness in animations. Okay, if you're talking about the cube or Pokemon card, there is a feature. So, for example, so if you see here, if I click on one of the actions, right here we have easing. You can customize that. You can customize your easing using the easing editor, or choose a preset ease from this list. I'm going to set it to ease. Go. This one I'm going to set to ease. Or I can click on this, hold command, and choose ease for both. And another thing you can do is add smoothing right here. If I play around with this now, go. Much more smooth. Here we go. Hope that answers your question. Next one, HG Web Design. Can you add a rear end to the card? Yes, you can. Good question. Here. And rear end to the card. So, what HG is asking is if I... Let's add that animation back on. Add the mouse move over element. Pika P. All right. Cool. So it does that. But what if I want to see the backside of this card? Okay. So I'm going to go back to here, and on the mouse X, I'm going to flip this completely, right, to 115. And on the other side, I'm going to flip this to positive 150. Yeah. All right. So now if I preview it, I can go all the way and see the backside of it. But the backside is just a flip. It's just the exact flip of this. What I can do with the Pika P is go to the styles of this card, scroll down, and under effects, transform setting, and the back face set to hidden. Okay. And then I'm going to set the background of this to be, let's copy the color. Actually, let's get that blue color. Pokemon. All right, cool. So if I preview, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, if you preview, the back face is hidden. So now, okay, if I know how to do this, hope I can do this. Um, oh, I have to wrap this in another div. All right, here we go. Challenge accepted. So I'm gonna remove Pika from there and set Pika to this wrapper. Go overflow hidden so I can round out the corners. And the reason why is because I need to have a container, a wrapper for the two sides. And the two sides I'm going to glue together, and so that way they can flip, right? It's just two divs that are back to back, and I have to flip it, right? So Pika that static relative, so that way I can put in a div, and let's go ahead and set this one to absolute. That, and this one, we have to flip this 180. So I have to imagine myself taking another card and flipping it backwards with my rotate 180. Okay, so now they're back to back, and this also has a back face of hidden. Let's give this a background color of that blue. Cool. And there we go. So I did this right. Of course I did it wrong. Of course I did. Maybe this needs to be relative. Hold on, I'll figure it out. Okay, Nelson doesn't know what he's doing. I'll have to get back to you. Maybe I have to, yeah, it's visible. Rotate 180. Because I don't know. There's a way to do it. I gotta look into it. Webflow 3D flip card. What you do, you Google it. From 2018. How did you do it? Okay, so you have a see you have a container, and then you have two sides, a back side and a front side. What am I doing? Is the back side supposed to be okay? Yeah, that's what I did. Static? What? Wait, what? Used. And then you have, yeah. See, that's what I did. Okay, and then, yeah, that's what. I don't know. Here's the link. I don't know how to do the things. AKS, we will not have a Discord channel. It'll be a chat board. My thinking about chat board versus Slack or Discord is that when you get into these real-time chat apps and it's not your highest priority, you tend to not visit it for like a day or two, and then when you come in the door and you see all these messages that you missed, you're like, yo, I missed everything. And this is how I feel. I feel like I have to scroll up and read everything just to get caught up. And so to me, a chat board like circle.so um is much more friendly because you walk in the door and you don't have to catch up. You can just see the latest messages and it's like, okay, cool. Rather than you see all these threads and see all this real-time chat and you're like, what what are we talking about now? So that's why I've decided not to use Discord or Slack for this community. Did you change the animation to point to the wrapper? It's the same. Yeah, I did. It's the same. I'm probably not gonna figure it out in this stream right now. It's the same. Yeah, it's targeting Pika P, which is holding div block 3. Am I supposed to target the actual card instead of this? Pika P should have a. Oh wait, backface. Okay. Oh, look it kind of glitched. Okay. Okay, wait, I think I got it. And so this one should have a back face of hidden. And this one should have a back face of. Oh no, I thought I got it. Brr. Okay, maybe this should be visible. I'll figure it out. Ah! Response from Ripple Effect. Had a question before. Oh, okay, cool. So John did a video on that. Sweet. TJ from page transition tutorial. It works well on desktop and laptop computers, but when it comes to iPad and mobile, the transitions break when browsers back buttons are pressed. Fix. Ooh, that's a good one. Good one. So when you press the back button on an iPad or mobile, JavaScript page transitions won't work. I will. That's something to look into. I never thought about that. Something to look into because there is a way for. There has to be a way to detect if a user's back button on a browser is clicked. There has to be a way. Because if the browser is going backwards, execute the JavaScript that does the page transition. That's what should happen and that's what's happening in my head. I'm not sure if that'll work. Yeah, I don't have an answer for that. Okay, Harsh. Do you have any idea when Webflow launch user login feature as third-party integration as available with Webflow is costly for small clients? I agree. Yeah. Like I said in the beginning, Webflow working make it easy for everyone to add, but making sure that all the data that you're putting behind that paywall or that membership wall is secure. So gotta wait. I don't know when. I don't have any dates. Even though I work at Webflow, I cannot say any dates. And most of the time I don't have dates because I'm married. Yeah, that was a dumb. But mainly because uh software development is hard. If you say, "Hey, we're going to launch this feature on this date." If we miss that date, if the team misses that date, then the community gets sad and then we get sad. And so if that date is coming up really fast and we're rushing ourselves, I feel like we wouldn't be doing anyone a service because then it would we I don't think the team wants to do any rushed work. Because there's a lot of research that goes into like whenever a new feature is about to come out, there's a lot of UX testing to make sure that, hey, do you understand where to click rather than making the app super complicated, you know? So yeah, no dates. Hanfu, can Webflow achieve more advanced 3D interaction? Yeah, if you have any examples of advanced 3D, I'd like to know. But basically, what Webflow 3D transitions, animations, basically what it's doing, it's Webflow is just writing CSS 3D transforms. It's writing that code for you. And let me show you. So if I go like this to, if I go like this and on CSS preview, so right here, this is all the CSS code for this element. If I add any 3D-ness to it, it's writing that code for me. Okay, so it wrote rotate X, rotate Y, and writing the degrees. Okay, so that's all it's doing. Right, so advanced 3D, I'm not sure what you mean. If you're talking about like creating 3D characters, like recreating Transformers the movie inside of Webflow, no, that's not gonna happen. You use Cinema 4D or whatever. You talk to ILM. You talk to Disney about that kind of stuff. Webflow can't do that. So this is just taking 2D objects and making them 3D using. Okay. Questions? Yeah. So, while I'm waiting for more questions, if you want to join in on the weekly challenge, start building 3D this week. Make a flip card and show Nelson how to do it. So yes, teach me, because I obviously don't know how to do it yet, but I will learn. I will learn from you all. If you want to join the community, pixelgeek.community coming out soon. If you have if you have any websites or projects that you've done recently and you want some feedback from me, now is the time. We have like 19 minutes left in the stream, so now is the time. Show me what you've created. Okay? And also, you would like to coffee, support the stream if you want. All right, Pablo. What is this, Pablo? What? What is going on? I like this counter. What? This is neat. I don't know what to say. Like, you're using the background clipping, but you're adding looping interactions with some sort of graphic in the background, and just moving it left and right in different eases, timing, and this is variable, dude. Wow, that's cool. I don't know what this is for, but this is, and this counter up here. Yeah, show me more when this is done. This must have taken work. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Keep going with this. I want to know what this is for. Yes, variable fonts. It's so cool how it squishes and it gets thicker, different font weights. Things are happening. This is cool. Nice. Thanks for sending that in. Hey guys, I think YouTube is blocking my link. But okay, yeah. So Spencer, is it me or is this site ripping off Webflow's design? Questionscout.com. Kind of. So here's the thing about ripping off in the creative space. Everyone does it. There is no such thing as an original idea. No such thing. If you want an original idea, you have to go back to when we were cavemen. No, don't restart Windows. What are you doing? No. Snooze. Whew. You have to go back to when we were cavemen, when we were drawing on wall and cliffs and not cliffs, just caves and whatnot. The only what makes an idea original is just taking a mashup of different ideas and putting them together, put your own little spin on it and say, this is what I did. That's what a lot of people do. And it's okay. Now, as far as this goes, I feel it's more of a it's flattering, you know, that our marketing team, and I'm going to show this to our marketing team, that our marketing team did something right, that another team, another marketing design team said, you know what? Let's do something like that. And they did. And you know what? It's all good. It's all good. You know? Ooh, even the gradients too. Oof. But is this made in Webflow? Survey says yes, it is. I can tell because at the top, look for data WF, data WF domain, or data WF page. WF means Webflow. Oh, and it says it right there too. So it's all good. I like what they did. Let's see. Oh, I was waiting for the drop down. I was waiting for the mega menu. I was like, did they do it? No, they didn't. It's all good. So yeah, it's nice. Works if it works for them. Cool beans. I mean, how many websites have you seen take Stripe's angled homepage, the angled hero row, take that same design concept and slap it on their homepage? There is so many. And it's all good. All good. Because you know where the original is. You know where the originator is. So it's all good. Okay, that's cool. I like the lines. This is clean. Oh, look at that. There we go. All good. Yeah, question scout. Well. All right. Furzal. Oh, lots of questions. I have a question. Is it possible to customize your cursor and make it animate if you hover an element? Yes, there is. I tried the tutorial and I failed, and so I need to try again. I haven't tried in a while. I forgot who made the tutorial, but Webflow custom mouse cursor tutorial blog. There it is. Who wrote this? Alex. Yes. So there is a way. Here's a link. This is what I tried to do, and then I failed, but you can try it, and you can fail more than I, and learn much more. So go at it. But this is the blog post, like linked in chat. Yeah, so it's possible to do something like this. And you can actually clone the project from here. So it changes on a link. So pretty cool. Yes, it is possible. Great question. Next one. BCA, can you review my website? Yes, I can. Of course. Go to it. Okay. My first thought was, what and why was that? Okay, so that animation took longer than 3 seconds. Okay, so I always say when someone's coming to your website, you have 6 seconds, 3 seconds to load up the page, and then 3 other seconds to tell the user, where am I? What is it about? And where do I get more information? 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. 5 seconds. I already feel like, you know what? I don't know if this is worth my time. I'm just being very honest with you. All right. So, I don't think you need that preloader. That preloader doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't have a logo. It doesn't tell the story of your business or your app or who you are. It doesn't add anything. If I were to ask you right now, why? Oh, connected from chat. If I were to ask you, why did you add that? Would you be able to explain it in less than 3 seconds? So that's plugging back YouTube. Back in. There we go. Oh, Marine from Texas is here. Welcome. Okay. Yeah. So, why did you add that? All right. So, now that I'm here though, so say it just loaded like this. So, a question again. Where am I? I don't know where I am. Most people put logos either in the top center or the top left. Most of the time it's top left. It has the logo, it probably has the name of the company, something to tell a person, where am I? I don't know where I am. I'm really confused. To be honest, I'm confused right now. I see blog, blog, blog at the top, but I don't know if I want to go any further. What is it about? Easy blogger that provides you to different types of blog. I'm still confused, maybe because of the grammar. Blogger that provides you to different, yeah. So if English is not your first language, totally fine. But the something got lost in translation. Maybe use Grammarly or something to help you with this copy. Last second is, where do I get more information? So immediately you're telling someone email, Facebook, Instagram. Why should I email you with my personal email address? Why should I give up that information when I don't even know who you are or what you do? Why should I go to Facebook? Why should I go to your Instagram? There is no explanation as to why. So when someone comes to a website, whether it be a business, a portfolio, whatever, you're telling a story immediately. You're giving a handshake to someone. So I load up your site, and it's like me stepping into your office doors. Okay, so I'm like, hey, what's this about? You have 3 seconds to tell me your story. Help me feel invited into your office. Right? So if this were me, it would be something like, hi, this is hi, you've stepped into Easy Blogger, and you know what? I wanna help you build your blog site. I wanna help you. Like, what are you helping me with? And towards the end of the conversation, which is at the very bottom of the page, that's when you start to ask, hey, if you want to connect even more, fill out this contact form and I'll email you. Or check out my Facebook page for more information about me. Or you know what? Go to my Instagram so you know more about me. So you got to tell the story first before trying to tell someone to click on something. So right now, I'm lost. I have no trust in this web page. All of that on just the hero reel. I haven't even scrolled down yet, right? But let's keep scrolling. So I scroll down, business blog. Why should I even read these? 9 ways you can improve. So, uh, so this is advice. So you're trying to target someone who needs advice with their e-commerce website or sales. So if you're giving advice, you need to be more clear at the top. Motivation blog. Yeah, so this is all just advice, motivation, helping people out. Um yeah, so you need to be upfront at the top about all this, right? Hey there. Okay, so this is you. My name is don't know if I can pronounce that name. Sorry. Sophomore studying computer science. That is awesome. Keep going. You're super young and you're already building a website. That's good. Keep going. This website can read different types of blog mentions. One more thing. So hurry up and read this one. Don't tell someone to hurry up. Don't tell someone to hurry up and read. Uh, because if someone's taking their time to go to your website, you shouldn't force them into anything. Right? Be careful with your copy. And maybe some things are lost in translation. Maybe English isn't your first language. Totally understand, but you need to be careful with the type of copy that you're writing onto your webpage, right? Also, don't capitalize every letter in a paragraph, and don't center paragraphs. Don't center paragraphs like this. Design. My wife actually wrote a blog post about not doing that, and I'll link it right here. Cool. Um, yeah, that's that. Keep working at it. I know these tips or feedback might be harsh, but it's all to help you. All right? It's not to put you down. I want to help you. I want to see you grow. So bring your website next week to the stream. I want to see it grow. I want to see you get better. So bring this to the stream. Okay? So I will see you next week. Athra, you'll get the last question. Oh, wait, there's 3 questions left. Here we go. I am redesigning my portfolio site soon. Good luck. It is tough. What are the best practices for redesigning in Webflow without affecting my current site? Oh, okay, yeah. If you already have a lot of data inside of your current site, duplicate your site. Okay, don't touch your current site, just duplicate your site and then work on that. If you can start from a blank slate with no data, then do that. Right? Start a whole blank new page or start from a premium template, a free template. It's up to you. When you're done, contact the support team and we'll transfer your hosting site plan from your old site to your new one. Okay? One day we'll have a one-click feature to do that on your own, but for now you have to contact the support team to do that. But yeah. Pablo, was the navbar challenge just added the okay. As they say in the Fight Club movie, everything is a copy of a copy. That's true. Cool. I caught up with all the questions. Whew. If you made it this far in the stream, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been super fun. Hold on. If I can do. Oh, cool. All right. So yeah, this is coming. Yeah, I like that one. Cool. All right. So that's coming. Thank you all so much for being here. It's my pleasure and honor to share my knowledge. about everything web design. I'm just a geek, just like all of you. Thank you so much for spending time with me for these 2 hours. I will see you next Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time to 12 p.m. Yeah, that was fun. Everyone who's in the live chat room still, you're awesome. If you're watching a recording, you're awesome as well. Don't forget to subscribe. I mean, if you already have, you're awesome. But that's about it. Anything else? Anything else? No? No? All right. Well, again, pixelgeek.community. I'll see you there. As always, make the web beautiful together. See ya. Oh God, that's loud. There it goes. Bye, everyone.
Just last week you called me. The way you're talking is driving me insane. Hello. Just last week you called me. The way you're talking is driving me insane. Hello. Hello. Even if we're hanging by a thread, what you said is spinning in my head, in my head. I just wanna pull you closer in this bed, take me back into your arms, and I'll never let you down. Just last week you called me. The way you're talking is driving me insane. Hello. Just last week you called me. The way you're talking is driving me insane. Hello.